Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Rising Above Adversity, AFC Bournemouth. And yes, today I have for you the final day of the season. Of course, in the previous episode, it was the memorable game against Manchester City in the Capital One Cup. And after that episode, or the end of the episode, sorry, I said I wasn't sure when I was going to come back. I was kind of seeing how the thing develops. And yeah, as you can see, since the Capital One Cup final, we have been incredible. I mean, that win in the Capital One Cup final really boosted the confidence of everyone at the club. And since then, we've just been in brilliant form in the league. Of course, we were struggling going into the final. But since then, as you can see, we've only lost one game in 9 matches since that final. And also a draw in there against Everton, but the wins have been so pleasing as well. The way we've been winning games so comfortably. You can see we beat Wolves 2-0, we beat Fulham 3-0, Crystal Palace 2-0, Swansea 2-0, Watford 3-0. We pummeled Newcastle once again 4-1, same scoreline as in the Capital One Cup semi-final second leg, and then most recently beat QPR 4-3. It's just been brilliant, you know, to be in this kind of form. I said in the previous episode that if we wasn't careful and if we carried on the run that we was going on, we could find ourselves being dragged into a relegation battle, and that was highly unlikely. But the boys must have been listening to me, because the performances that they've been putting in since the Capital One Cup final, as I said, have been amazing. But this is how the league table currently stands going into this final game of the season. So as you can see, we are coming into this game in 7th place, which is just a massive turnaround from last season. Last season was a really frustrating season for me, and to see everything come together towards the end of the season like this, and for us to be, you know, so high up in the table, win the Capital One Cup, it's just so pleasing for me. You can see there's no chance of us finishing any higher than 7th. We can finish as low as 8th, so 7th or 8th is where we're going to finish this year. Which has to go down as a massive success, and as the overall season, just a huge success. But there is a lot of other things to look at today. That's why I kind of wanted to commentate over this game. You can see the relegation places, or you know, the relegation is not sorted out completely yet. Palace and Fulham are already down. Fulham have already conceded 91 goals in the league this year. Mental. But Wolves, Stoke and Norwich could still potentially go down. Wolves are currently in that final relegation spot. They're just in there on goal difference. Stoke, just out of it on goal difference. Norwich could also potentially go down. Also, Manchester United coming to this game may not finish 4th. They are currently in 4th, but you can see they're level on points with Arsenal, only ahead of them on goal difference. So for me, as a Manchester United fan, I'm not sure what kind of result I want here, because of course we can't finish any higher really, but if we could potentially destroy Manchester United's chances of finishing in a Champions League spot this year. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I guess, you know, I've got to be professional. I am the Bournemouth manager, so I've got to be trying to get the best result possible for Bournemouth, and whatever happens. And also, the title race is still not decided. Manchester City, Liverpool and Chelsea are still in there battling it out for the title. So there's a lot of different little subplots going on this final day of the season. Chelsea kind of the outsiders on this one. You can see they're in 3rd on 74 points, Liverpool 2nd on 76 points, and Manchester City currently leading the way on 77 points. So a lot of interesting things going on this final day of the season. But it's a bit of a party atmosphere at Bournemouth at the moment. We've had a brilliant season. We've achieved more than we could have ever thought we could have achieved this season. Of course, I said I wanted to finish in the top half, but to finish, you know, as high, if we can finish 7th, that would be absolutely incredible. 8th, or either 7th or 8th, would be incredible. But I'm gonna stop talking, and let's get to the lineup for today's game against Manchester United. Right, so here we are with the final team sheet for this season. In goal, Bardi. Back four, Debuchy, Reed, Mamana and Davis. In midfield, we've got Sami Khedira, Nikuso Stanku and Gianluca Gordino. On the right, we've got Entep. On the left, Correa, and up front, Munir as a trequartista. Now, I've been playing Munir there for the last few games, and you can see he's in sensational form. Scored 6 goals in his last few games. It's a shame that he's only on loan, of course, from Barcelona, and up until the last few games or so, he hadn't struggled, but he wasn't really a permanent fixture in the team. But fantastic to see that towards the back end of the season he's really improved and been making some really solid contributions. But on the bench, we've got Ulreich, Arta, Vieto, Torvin, Lee Song-yong, Brian Oviedo, and Will Keane. So, again, final day of the season. It would be fantastic if we can round off the season with a win and finish in 7th place. But again, as I said, as a Manchester United fan, I do want Manchester United to finish in the Champions League. So I really don't know. But let's get into the game. Final day of the season. Party atmosphere at the goal signs. So let's get into it. So first highlight of the game is coming in the opening minute as we have the ball on the left wing. Correa played it to Gordino. Gordino, the on-loan man from Bayern, plays it to Entep. Entep with the strike. It takes a deflection, but he's offside. Thought he was 1-0 up there, would have been fantastic, but disallowed goal for Entep. Another highlight coming. Not been too much happening in the early stages of the game so far, but we regained possession there from Nyom, I think it was. Munir playing really deep in that. Of course, he's in that trequartista role. He's going to have to get forward here as Correa brings it forward, gets to the edge of the box. He's lovely solo run there, but it was a poor effort in the end, and it remains 0-0. Coming towards the end of the first half now, it's been so quiet. Just seen a couple of efforts from ourselves. The disallowed goal, of course, from Entep, and a little effort from Correa. But apart from that, literally nothing has happened in the game. Manchester United have yet to threaten our goal. I'm going to tell the players that we owe United revenge. Of course, you remember we got pummeled at Old Trafford earlier on in the season 5-1, but we did knock them out of the Capital One Cup on our road to actually winning the competition. Ben Davies is really struggling out there. So I'm actually going to bring him off at half-time. There's no need for him to stay out there. I'll bring on Brian Oviedo, who's definitely more than capable of coming in that position. But 0-0 at half-time, not in an eventful game, which probably reflects kind of our mood. But Manchester United still probably need to try and win this game if they really want to secure that last Champions League spot. So as it stands, it looks like Manchester United are actually going to qualify for the Champions League. It looks like Arsenal must be losing at the moment. And also in the title race, Manchester City are leading it still. Of course, they came into the game on top position, but Correa with an opportunity there, played in by Munir, but it's into the palms of David De Gea. Right, so 60 minutes into the game now, I'm going to make a change. And Tep's not having the greatest of games. I've also got 3 midfielders on yellow cards, which is a bit concerning. But I haven't really got anyone to bring off the bench. Sergei Sidorchuk is suspended for this one. So I'm just going to bring off Entep. I'll bring on Tovin. And yeah, I think that's the only change I'm going to make. I'll leave it how it is. We're doing well so far. Half an hour to go in the game. Still 0-0. A point, of course, would be a good result. I think we're still in 7th in the league. Villa must be losing, I think. So it looks like we are going to finish in 7th place. They're just patiently probing into Berardi. Well dealt with by Debuchy, and hopefully we can counter here. Munir on it. Hasn't got too many men forward, so again he's going to have to do it by himself, and he does well here. Hits the post and it rebounds off the back of De Gea and falls to safety for United, but very close there. We're coming towards the final 5 minutes of the game. Things as it's at the top is pretty much as how it was coming into this game. Manchester United still in 4th, Man City still top of the table, but Stoke have actually dropped into the relegation zone. Wolves must be winning their game, Stoke must be losing theirs. So Stoke, after being out of the relegation zone, and Berardi has just scored for United, so that will confirm Champions League play for them for next season. It looks like we're going to still finish in 7th, which is of course brilliant news for us. Aston Villa have actually just equalised though, and they've gone to 7th. No. Oh, and Everton have scored again. Two goals in quick succession as Januzaj scores a nice free kick there. But Villa equalised, and then just moments later conceded again against Everton, which looks like a thrilling game there. 3-2 Everton. And that should see us finish in 7th. The whistle should go here any moment now. And that will wrap things up for the season. Yeah, there it is. Manchester United 2, Bournemouth 0. Manchester United, pleased for them, of course, as a United fan, that they've secured Champions League football. But Let's have a quick look now at the final standings for the league table. Right, so here is the confirmation. We finish up in the Premier League, 7th place. What an absolutely fantastic season. After finishing, 15th last year, 14th the year before. Massive progression made this year. Stoke go down after being out of the relegation zone going into the final game. But I think they lost their game, did they? Yeah, they lost 2-0 to Wolves, actually. They played Wolves in the final game of the season. I actually didn't notice that. So Wolves have secured their safety on the final day by beating their direct rivals in Stoke, which would have been mental for the Wolves fans. Manchester City win the league by 3 points. Chelsea finishing up in second, actually. So Liverpool drew their final game. Chelsea won their final game. Manchester United, again, as I said, finishing in 4th place. And Arsenal in 5th. So that wraps it up for the season. That is the league standings. We will be in Europe next season. But I just want to take now a look at some of the players. Look at some of our kind of stand-up performers this year. So if I go through the average ratings, one man who has had an absolutely brilliant season, Joaquin Correa. You can see his physicals, they've been declining a little bit in recent months, which is a bit worrying. But what an absolutely fantastic season he's had. Last year, only scored 1 goal in the league with 10 assists. This season, 12 goals in the league and 9 assists. Developing really nicely. Only 23 years old, so he's got plenty. He's still got time to develop further. Technically, just an incredible player. As you can see on that left wing, he's so dangerous coming in. You can see he's got an issue about joining Marseille, who play in the Europa League. But of course, we are now in the Europa League, so hopefully that will keep him happy. Just a few other players to mention. Sergei Sidorchuk in his first season for the club. Of course, our record signing. Pretty much done the job I wanted him to do in the team. Played in front of that back four, of course, in a 4-3-3. Was just that kind of combative midfielder that we really wanted in there. All round, he's just a fantastically well-rounded midfielder. I'm very pleased with the season that he's had. Just a couple of other names to mention. Where is he? Mamana now. Although it says he's had a 6.96 rating, which on the face of it is not, an incredible season. He's just been a constant fixture in our team. You can see he's played 37 out of the 38 league games this season. Played 40 games in all competition. Only 22 years old. He's developing at a very fast rate. And just delighted that he's developing so well. You can see we bought him for 5.25 million earlier on in the season. There was actually some interest from Manchester City in him, but I'll be looking to keep him around. Definitely, I will not be looking to move on any key players this summer like we did with on Gender at the end of last season. Who else do we look at? Who else can we look at here? Entep. At the start of the season, he wasn't really starting many games. I was tending to play Joaquin Correa on the right and Munir on the left, but Entep forced his way into the team, and for the last few months of the season, he's been pretty much playing week in, week out, and putting in some excellent performances. You can see he finished up the season with 6 goals and 10 assists in the league, making 36 appearances in the league. So, a constant fixture in the side, and a very good season for him. Of course, his first full season at the club after we brought him in this previous season in January. But yeah, apart from that, probably not too many other names I'm going to mention. Just looking at the squad as a whole and where I'm going to strengthen for this summer. Right back, most definitely is an area we need to strengthen. Mathieu Debuchy, of course, on loan for the season, was our only recognised right back for pretty much the entire season. So we're definitely going to be needing to strengthen in the right back area. We've got a future fee that we can put in for Debuchy, £800,000, and he's done really well for us this year. You can see he played 34 games in the league with an average rating of 6.93, very solid for us. So I may look to do a deal for Debuchy. I'm not too sure yet. It kind of depends on his wage demands, but I will most definitely be in the market for another right back, a younger right back is what I'll be looking to bring in. Elsewhere, left back as well, probably may need to strengthen. We've got Ben Davis. We actually spent a lot of money to bring him in on loan, and we've got a future fee of 6.5 million agreed for him. But again, like Debuchy, it all kind of depends on his wage demands. He was really solid for us as well this year. Played 31 games in the league, scored 3 goals with an average rating of 7.1. So, very good performer this year for us on loan, Ben Davies. So we'll look to see what happens with that one. If we can't get Ben Davies tied up, we'll definitely be looking for another left back. In midfield, looking for another central midfielder. Of course, Gordino, only on loan for the season, did really well for us on loan from Bayern Munich. Had an injury early on in the season, but when he came back from that, he was brilliant. And Bayern have got an absolute star for the next 10 years or whatever or so, that he plays for, because he's just going to go on to become an incredible player. And just really happy that he was able to spend a year with us and develop really well. But apart from that, I'm not too sure. Striker, maybe in the market for a new striker. Vieto finished up the season with only 11 goals in the league, 15 in all competitions. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him. His value's actually gone up from the original price that we paid of 11 million. And he's on fairly high wages for a club of our size, on £63,000 a week. So, I'm not sure. I don't really want to sell him. I don't want to cut my losses with him just yet. He's only 24 years old. I feel like there is more to come from him, but this year is just he hasn't given what I was expecting from him. 11 goals in the league overall were just not good enough really in 32 appearances, an average rating of 6.83. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe a new striker coming in, but we'll have a look. Of course, the season literally just finished, so I need to kind of sit down and analyse the squad properly. But I'm going to probably leave it here for this episode. We wrapped up the season in 7th place. It's been a memorable season for the club, of course, winning the Capital One Cup. Next season will be an exciting one for the club, of course. Only one more season at the Goal Sands, and we move into our new stadium. So European football will be at the Goal Sands for one more season, and next season we'll of course be looking to push on up into the kind of top 6 area if we can. It all depends on kind of the business we do during the transfer window. But as I said, I'm going to leave it here for now. If you did enjoy this episode, always remember to drop it a like. And if you're not subscribed to the channel just yet, please do subscribe to the channel. But for now, it's been the Halfback, and I'll see you guys very soon.